Apologies and reasons for absences.
Leah Toseland is going to see a grandma. No,
That's
sorry.
the other way round.
Hannah Williams is going to see a grandma. I'm not sure.
And Leah hasn't got childcare.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a proposer for that?
Sorry.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. Seconded by Paul. All those in favour accepting the apologies. Thank you very much. Deputations from the public.
That's correct.
Oh, well, I am quick. Oh, no, I've missed one out.
I think that's
It's a bell. I've missed one out.
Yeah,
Not done. See, look, you're filming me being rubbish now. Just cut that bit out. Oh, is that what it is? I just see it at the door. Okay, so declarations of members' interest. Declarations of members' interest and dispensations. Anybody got anything they'd like to declare this evening? No? Okie dokie. Now I'll go to my deputations, Martin.
I did write it down, but I forgot it. But I wrote to the council and they haven't responded to me, which is not particularly new. But one of my questions was answered in the agenda item, which you'll be considering number 2, isn't it, or whatever, in that order, that there is some money missing. I was going to ask how much money is missing, but I doubt you're going to tell me that, even though it's public money. But because you're doing finances tonight, I wanted to raise the issue of the lack of publication of accounts, which should be published every month. That's the statement of accounts, bank statements, etc. I can't remember the last time they were published, and it gets very frustrating when, as a member of the public, you pick up an agenda offline to look at what's going on at the council and it says documents to follow, and they don't. So I would like to know whether the council's doing anything to improve on that, because to me it's a step back. It reminds me of like 3 or 4 years ago when things weren't done properly. And then quickly, because I don't want to waffle, going to the budget. As many of you probably know, if you read it, I found it, the audit report, and I was quite pleased to see that one of the points was picked up that the budget is, I use my words, fictional, because I used to get quite hounded for raising that when I was a member of the council. And one of the things I was going to point out to you this evening, and I've forgotten the headings, but there's a really frustrating thing of how the reserves grow. And that basically comes down to the fact that, example, last year you asked for £10,000 from the public for a particular heading. You only spend £1,000. This year you're asking for £10,000 again. And that happens every year. And when I used to say, what happened to the 9? Shut up. And that is your problem, is that you sit in meetings and obviously that reserves is built up, and it's mentioned in the budget of how it's not really followed in the audit report. People were quite often told, and I've forgotten how many times over the years are told, yeah, we can spend that, it can just come from the reserves. So it gives the impression that people have just looked at the paper and said, yeah, we'll have that money, but we don't follow it. I don't know whose fault that is, but that's how I believe the internal auditor has seen it, and I see it, and used to tell people, and I hope that this evening you can sort it out, because, you know, 35% is the increase that you're asking the people to pay, which is astronomical. Everything's gone up. Politicians like to use the milk. I had Long Life at home, which I stockpiled beginning of the year, but I had to go and get a pint of milk again in Tesco's for a friend. It was 60 pence a month ago, it's 95p. Now that's just one example of how much people's outgoings are going up and up. And if the council tax goes up, where's the money coming from? But I don't have it.
No.
You know, I won't go into my personal things, but there's energy bills
Yes.
which are
I think
going
we're all
up.
feeling
I had
it.
an email saying that my energy, just the electric, is going up another £100 from the 1st of January.
You have to turn that heating
So
on.
I know what I do.
So
But anyway,
that's
we're not here to talk about that. But I hope I didn't waffle.
Okay.
And,
Thank you. No, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, so number 4. We need to appoint some councillors onto, firstly, the staffing committee, because of Zoe's resignation, and Leah has also asked to step down from the staffing committee. So I'm looking for 2 more members, if anybody is interested in stepping into the staffing committee.
Yeah, no.
Are you not already on it?
No.
No, because I thought you were and then you weren't.
No.
Okay. Thank
Could I
you.
ask who is on it at the moment?
Myself, Chris, David and Leah. No, Leah's just stepped down, my apologies. Yeah, so it's just us 3 at the moment.
I think Rita was on it. No.
Yes.
I was on the finance.
No, she's not.
No, you're on
Oh,
staffing as well.
Yeah.
I was going to say on.
Yeah.
That's so I'm on it.
You're on it, love.
So many saying.
So we only need, we don't really need, we don't need another one, do we, if Paul's going to come on? If Rita's
No.
that's
Yeah.
The thing I'm aware of is that you keep calling staffing meetings and people aren't turning up. And
No.
I'm going to put my name forward, and I know that Paul Ainsley is interested in putting his name forward as well. Now, if you're going to get people putting their names forward that are genuinely interested in doing it and doing a proper job,
Yeah.
then I'm formally proposing Councillor Ainsley and formally proposing myself as well.
Okay. Are you proposing Paul Buxton as well, and then we can do it in a job lot?
Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody?
Sorry,
No, carry on.
so we have Councillor Garwood,
Yes,
Councillor Buxton,
yes.
there'll be 7 on it altogether.
But
okay.
the trouble is that the last few staffing meetings that I have called, I've had to cancel because nobody turns up.
Did you receive apologies, or was it just... I'm just concerned that no matter how many you pour into this bucket, if it's got a hole in it and it's not working, it just... So my question is, did you receive apologies from those that didn't turn up? Or was it was an administrative error, or what?
There was a lot of confusion in definitely the last meeting, because the clerk sent out 2 different agendas, and I think it was the people that picked the first agenda up didn't obviously see the second agenda that was sent out with the right date on, so that did cause quite a lot of confusion.
We can.
I sent apologies for the wrong date.
Yes.
Well, I was confused as well, so
Yeah.
we can start again now, can't we? Not have confusion, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yes, because we've got to get this staffing committee sorted and done.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
So are you on?
Wait till you heard it.
Oh, I see how it goes.
So, at the minute, we've got Councillor Buxton, Councillor Lowe and Councillor Ainsley, proposed by Councillor Lowe. Do we have a seconder? I'll second that. And those all in favour? And against? Abstaining. Thank you.
Too many.
Okay, and the other thing is the finances, because they seem to be struggling to get the finances sorted as well, hence we're doing a bit of budget tonight, because we're running out of time to get this budget sorted. On the finances at the moment, I think that's yourself, isn't it, David?
Paul.
Paul Buxton.
Have they met this year?
We've tried.
You've tried a couple of times, this is the same principle as we're having with the other.
So how many people do we have on the finance committee currently?
Also on the finance.
You're on the committee, right, so that's Chris, so we've got 3 there. Again, Leah has stepped down and Zoe has resigned. So we have 2 possible vacancies. If anybody's interested in a bit of financial help, you're happy?
I'd like to propose myself, and
Thank you.
Oh, I second that.
thank you.
pondering it because, I mean, there was a time where we used to sit down and the whole council we'd be discussing finances in the autumn, and the whole council would sometimes spend a whole meeting just going through that spreadsheet line by line. Do you remember those days? And we seem to have lost that. And whereas the finance committee was set up to try and take away some of what is perceived to be the burden, I think the whole of the council have lost the focus on this, and that's why we're not so much in the trouble this year because of that alone. That we've had a lot of disruption because of other things. So yeah, I would go put myself forward for the finance committee as well.
Okay. So that.
Don't
Okay, so I will second Adam onto it, and all those in favour of Adam joining? Unanimous. Thank you very much,
Did you
guys.
vote on me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yours was unanimous.
You had to get him.
Okay, so here we go. Budget. Right. Now, I don't know whether David can just tell us where we are with this budget. I've got the one that Ben sent out. Has the finance group actually had any input in that, or is that
No,
just Ben's?
Because Paul and I there's only Paul and I available.
Yeah.
So
So this,
after Zoe stepped down, I decided we ought to call a finance meeting, which we did. But there was only Paul and I that could make it. So it was.
And it's a committee, isn't it, rather than a working
Yes,
group?
it is a committee, not a working group. Yeah.
okay.
So that was what we are.
Right, so what I'm suggesting then is if this is the first draft, we'll do what we can do with it today and then we'll send it off to the finance to finalise everything. Is that okay?
Yeah, because we've got till the council meeting on 12th of January.
Somebody threw the 12th at me at some stage.
Yeah, this has to be decided by the 16th at RCC.
Oh, I thought we got till the 30th. I was told we.
Right. I was looking at
Well,
that.
sooner the better, really.
Yeah. As long as we get it, we've got to go to the next full council, or we'll just you'll have to call the next drawing, won't you? Next full council.
17th of January it says here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've got to do our council meetings on the 11th,
Okay,
so we can get a meeting.
so we get it ready for the 11th.
Yeah, get a meeting.
Okay, thank you. Right, so if we go through each group, so the first one is your general administration. I don't know whether any of you had a chance to study and look at it. I have got Paul Ainsley's thing in front of me. So I don't know whether you want to talk through your findings on that and what you would like to propose, maybe.
Can I just make a comment?
Of course you can.
It would have been nice to have had that the 3 days before the meeting, if you're presenting it as a document,
Right.
not at 11:25 this morning, because I've been at work and I've only picked it up as I left for the meeting.
Okay.
So
It is exactly the same as the one that was on, that we've been sent out by
I'm just
Ben.
saying, you're presenting another document now that Paul produced, but it went out very, very well.
Can I put your mind at rest?
No, I'm just saying that we're going to talk about a document that
A lot of information to assimilate.
Yeah.
in a few
What
hours.
else we haven't seen?
Do I have I got the floor or not?
Yes.
Yes, please, carry on.
I found this the most confusing set of documents, I think, that I've ever read. I think there are a lot of discrepancies that I can't explain. And that there are figures, for example, additional maintenance. I know that's not with the 900% increase. I don't understand why. And there are other glaring examples of it. And I just was unable to get the statements, the written statements, to agree with what's in the spreadsheet at all.
Right.
And I therefore feel that I would like to recommend, I don't want to add anything other to this at the moment because I think it'd just be conjecture. So I simply want this to come to finance and for finance to thrash this out and then come back to council as soon as possible. I found this totally confusing. Now maybe there are other more enlightened members in the chamber who can explain the disparities in the document, and I welcome, I will listen.
Well, unfortunately, because obviously Ben has produced it and he's not here to explain it to us, it's going to be quite hard to do.
I would be minded to further defer this, because I don't think we're going to achieve enough tonight where we would be comfortable that we've achieved a successful outcome. So that we would defer this, that with the utmost urgency that the Finance Committee needs, it must have Ben, the RFO, present.
Do we know when he's back on?
He's only off today. Oh, and then he's got the 3rd, is it? Is that
So he's
3rd?
back on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Can we,
So all I'm thinking was if we're going to defer,
Right.
I'm just trying to head us up here. What
We need to have a plan.
we need to have a meeting on the 3rd, which means that Kathy, you're going to have to send the notices out. Could we need to post the notice, don't we?
Ben's in tomorrow, so he can.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, beg
so
your
he
pardon.
can,
So yes, we need to get the notice out that there'll be a meeting on the 3rd of the Finance Committee, and then is everybody, because everybody's here, do you want to do that at 6:30?
Is everybody free to do that on the
Yeah.
3rd?
I am not here.
You're not.
And I'm okay for that at the minute,
Yeah.
So,
because I
sorry, I'm just looking at my calendar.
Yeah.
Just if we, I know we haven't deferred it, but if that's what we.
Yeah.
David,
Yeah, we
Chris
can defer
Carr,
to the
Adam
date.
Cam,
Yeah.
that will make you quorum
Yeah.
anyway, won't it?
Yeah.
And the
So-
time you're looking for is 18:30, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I can make that.
Yeah? Okay. So, we have a proposal by
Me, I guess.
me, I guess, to
Council me. I was going to change
To
the
do-
date.
defer the budget meeting. or
Yeah, well, to
discussion.
defer, yes, it is to defer the draft budget discussion till the January, that the, on the pretense that the Finance Committee will meet on the 3rd at 6:30
Yeah,
to redraft this budget, ready for the council to make a decision at the January meeting.
okay.
Can I, before you go to vote, Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I may just ask, it would be prudent for us to get our questions together ahead so that Ben can actually look at them. Because I'm concerned that we'll get together on the 3rd and the questions that we'll be asking will not be able to be answered immediately by our...
Like I say, it should be at work tomorrow, so I mean,
So what I'm
You
thinking
could-
is that we would encourage people to submit questions
Well,
ahead
I
of
was
time.
going to say, could we not just
Email.
briefly run down the heading, and if anybody's got anything they're not happy with, we can write it in the margin now, and we can pick that up at the Finance meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to do that then?
Yeah.
So we're not deferring.
Well,
Yeah,
so we are
deferring.
deferring.
You are deferring,
We are deferring, but we're
Well,
going to...
we need
but
to
you're
give-
just going
we
to
need to
discuss
give-
it anyway.
No, we need to give prior notice to ensure that the clerk is in a position to answer, do we not?
Yes.
That's what we're suggesting, that's what I'm suggesting in any case.
But we're deferring making a decision.
That's what we're doing.
So we have got we are deferring. We are going to have a Finance Committee meeting. We are going to put some questions on the back of this spreadsheet now.
Right,
That is basically what we've just said. That's what's been proposed. I'm still happy that sits with my proposal, and it will probably be seconded by David over there.
David, okay.
And then with a show of hands to make sure that's okay.
So if everybody's happy with that, I'll put in.
And now you're going to say, let's go down the column and just find out if anybody wants to raise it. This will be mainly people that probably won't be there in the Finance Committee meeting.
Okay, so going back to the columns. Right, general administration. We'll just start with that group first.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who wants to just highlight anything on that one for the finance to look into? Mr Ainsley.
Thank you very much indeed, yeah. NDR offices and toilets,
Yeah.
8,500. I'd like an explanation of that, please. That seems to me a massive...
Isn't that the public,
Rates.
the rates for public toilets?
Yeah,
I would like clarification, that's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
That is a massive
Okay.
amount of money.
it is.
Also, utilities, 9,000 seems to me to be a little light. I looked at 60% and that came out 150k. So I'd like that investigated, how that figure was arrived at.
I think Ben negotiated a deal. I think,
Well,
on the
yeah,
utilities.
I still...
Yeah.
Legal expenses have doubled. IT has gone up by 30%. So the professional fees have dropped from 9,000 to 3,000. So I just really like some clarity around those numbers, how they arrived at. So I've done with that one. Spent general administration.
Does anybody else want to raise any
I
points
was
on
going to
those?
say that, yeah. Anybody else want to highlight anything? I mean, I was concerned about these rates. I'm sure the rates haven't gone up by £3,000, so it definitely needs to be looked into.
I just want to
Because
keep
there
crying.
was, there was one time where we weren't paying rates for the toilets, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's been a change in the, on the rules on this from central government, and I thought it had been waived.
Shall we not discuss it now?
No,
Yeah.
but that,
In the
because I won't be
interest of
there, can you
expediency.
just make sure that's
Yeah.
highlighted?
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else got any general administration things they want to bring up?
I'm saying mine for the meeting, so.
Cool. Right, contracts and grants. You haven't really highlighted anything.
Could I break down on what we spent on the Christmas decorations?
Yeah.
So we rather lost track of, as we've been adding year on year.
Yes.
So what I do, we'll make a note, Christmas decks, check spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are
But
we
also
on the final year for this, or
No,
2023.
next year.
what, next year as well? Okay.
There's also be a thing on the toilet maintenance, which I presume is Jimmy.
Yeah.
Is there a price increase looming? Because that's what that tends to suggest, but I've not been made aware of it.
Yeah.
So that needs checking,
So you need to check.
check increase
And floral displays.
in them.
Will you stop saying that?
What's
the floral display? That's your flowers
All the
that make the town look pretty.
Flowers around the town in the summer.
And Adam doesn't like it very much.
You know that?
Now obviously, when does that contract finish as well? Is that this year?
Yeah.
So we need to get,
Floor,
I think that's needs to go, that needs,
it's
finance was supposed to be picking that up, but we haven't. got around to
check
that.
contracts, I've made a note, check contract.
Yeah, could you put that on the, that we need to look at the contract at
Yeah.
the finance meeting.
because obviously they did hike it up a bit this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we know where we're going with that. Anybody got anything else they'd like to add on the contracts and grants?
Yeah, I'd like to know why the grants have been reduced to 15k to 10k. Has that been approved by council? Is that a speculation or is that what we're doing?
Nothing has been approved by council, as far as
Okay,
that.
so let's discuss that then.
Well, I would say he's put it down at 10,000 as before, because,
15k before?
yeah, but this year we said 15.
No, it was
No.
10, 10, 15 in 22.
Yeah, 21, 22 it's 10, 22, 23 it was 10.
And we've actually spent
22, 23.
we've actually spent 15,000.
Yeah.
So this year.
So this year we spent more.
But we've overspent on the budget.
Yes.
On
Well,
grant.
let's understand what's going on here then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
Okay, so
that third figure is your predicted year-end spend. The third column in.
Yes.
So what he's saying there is that we allocated 10 grand in the budget, we've actually spent 15, so that's why the forecast is for the budget to be 10,000 next year, which is the same as we set like the year before.
But that doesn't answer the question though, does it?
No, but that was, we've just granted more
Yeah.
grants and we've got money.
We haven't.
But the other pressure's still the same, right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. No.
Okay,
So Kathy's just bringing up that we haven't actually spent 15,000 on grants this year.
so that makes it.
So-
Let's have clarity then.
Yeah.
We need to know exactly how much we have paid out on grants this year.
Do you want to know the figure?
No,
Uh,
Have you already got it somewhere?
I need it now.
Okay.
It'll just go straight in one ear and out the
All
other.
right, okay, fine. Okay. Right, so we're going to recreation, planning and general.
Okay,
Go on then, Councillor Ainsley, would you like to?
very much. Thank you. £10,000 for additional maintenance when previous year was 1,000. Don't quite understand that. Street and park furniture got up from 150 to 15k. I think Adam and I had a
We had a conversation.
but we need to clarify that. Play equipment seems to have gone through the roof from 3k to 14k. And I think that military commemoration events, we need to remember that we've got a coronation this year, so that needs to be included.
And again,
And those are the ones I'd like to raise with Ben beforehand.
again, they're for the predicted year-end spend.
Yes.
That's not what we spent, that's what's predicted to be spent at the end of the year.
We're only 2 months, yeah, 2 months.
So the play equipment, 1, 2, 3, we predicted to spend 3,000,
Yeah.
and we actually why Ben's reduced it to 14,000,
Yeah.
because we haven't spent.
I want to
which
know
is-
how
which is
real,
what-
but
Which is what we normally do, isn't it? When we haven't spent enough, we tend to take it back to the spend, or under the spend mark. But we can pick up.
Well, like I say, that probably just
We
needs to
can
be
ask.
brought back a little bit further so that we've
I'd
got
like to
the-
anchor in reality as far as possible.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's how we know, that's how we've always done it before,
Okay.
isn't it?
And as you say, the Jubilee, we definitely need
Well,
to-
the coronation,
That's what I meant.
yeah.
Sorry.
A bit premature for Jubilee.
How's that going to fall with the local elections?
I don't
So
know.
local elections are usually the first week in May, aren't they?
They are.
Yes.
That's
It's
for the
not
council to
chosen one of
sort
the
out.
best dates, has
When's the
it?
coronation?
3rd of January, 3rd of May.
It's not going to be very sensible.
I'll take the heat off over, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a farewell party.
But yes, if you can just give us some money to do something when we can decide when we can do something.
We certainly need to put it in our budget, whether we spend it or not, another issue.
Whoever's going to spend it needs to be
Well, it might not be any of us because we might not be here. The schools are having the 8th off as the extra bank holiday. So I don't know whether, but anyway, that's
Right,
the
okay.
true budget. Okay, anybody else like to just throw anything into about that? No?
Promotion of Oakham, no, sorry, the advertising gone up by the third, isn't it? 50%, 2K to 3K.
But we were
Well, what are we
budgeting
planning?
5, so,
What are we planning? Yeah, but
yeah,
that's is not a rationale, is it? That's,
no,
I think we're getting better at advertising. And
We are.
In the notes, Ben has put
Oh,
in the note, we're
yeah.
going to use Facebook more, we're going to use this more, and yet it's going to buy down better. But
let's discuss it in the meeting.
yeah,
But you've had a lot more banners, haven't you?
yes,
Yeah.
banners we've done this year more.
Okay.
paint your own.
Okay, so other expenditures.
Yes.
I've always, in my business, been told never put anything under other expenses.
That's exactly. So why is it doubled?
Yeah, what is it? So,
So-
the question is, what is that?
Yeah, we need to know what other expenses are because they need to be under a proper heading rather than
Yeah.
just being a other expenses. Because, like I say, in my business we don't have other expenses. It
I
has
think
to
as
go
far
under
as I know, it's
something.
as far as I've been on the council, it's always been there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. I don't,
No.
you know.
Well, if it is, we should have some idea of what.
Yeah,
the
it should be a
other
breakdown of
expenses
what,
might be.
yeah, it should be whatever category, because that could be admin, it could be,
Well, then, yes, definitely.
right.
Okay.
I've got a nitpicky one.
Oh, here we go.
Community street lighting, actually, it's 60%, which is 23,400, not 23K. So
Oh, right.
that's nitpicky, I appreciate.
Okay, so you can.
I've already put a request into to dig out the paperwork that we originally signed and agreed on the lighting infrastructure agreement, which was 10,000 a year plus 10% fixed, well, forever.
Yeah.
We
I've
have
also put in a freedom of information request to RCC, who are dragging their feet on that.
can I speak on this, to this,
Please.
because I've got some, I know that Together for Rutland, the group which I belong in, Rutland County Council, has raised a similar request that says, how can you retrospectively charge an increase in street lighting, and we'll just see where that's going to go. But essentially, that is a real cost, but they are retrospectively charging, aren't they? So that's a no-no.
Okay.
In the trouble.
So.
Yeah, exactly, matey. And we have responded, we had the opportunity to respond, and the opportunity to question it, but we declined that offer.
I don't think the letter ever came to council.
It never came to council, but it, shutting up. We went to the offices.
Went to the office. Never got
Labour
to
plan,
the
£500. I don't know why that's in there.
Because we're reforming the local plan, aren't we? The local plan's being withdrawn, so the neighbourhood plan will be reformed.
Again?
What?
Well, I like the
4 years. It's got 3 years forward about that. Okay, so that's what the budget's there for, isn't it? Just goes.
I'm guessing that's what it's for. That would be my guessing.
But again, maybe
It's a small amount.
question that one, so.
Yeah, well, I would suggest that actually, if we've got to redraw the whole neighbourhood plan, which I would suggest is a good idea. Yeah, but then, another point, is that sufficient?
Okay. Elections, 5,000, is that what we need to have for elections?
That's about right, because we have to pay our own elections now. And there will be elections next year. And even if we have uncontested seats for the town council, there'll still be a fee that they have to pay RCC. So that's about more or less on the money. It might be slightly more than that.
Okay. And obviously we have the
Public
extra...
What's the public emergency provision?
That was set up by Councillor Orchard.
That wasn't to do with things like COVID.
No, that was to do when there was a disaster, a flood. There was a flood. The Councillor Orchard wanted us to set up a fund in case we had a flood or a public emergency that we could then go and help. And I did try telling him that we're not the statutory authority, but council passed it anyway.
Right. So I think
Okay.
that could be...
That could be. I'll put down a note to reduce or remove.
Well, we should
Discuss
discuss
it.
it.
Yeah. Open hopper will be a debate point.
Yes. There's not a lot we can do about that because we've already decided we will pay that.
So are we moving on now? Or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so total current expenditure, actually the figure there is 392,385, yet the document, Oakham Town Council preset budget report states that it's actually significantly less, 324,785, so I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm just totally confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just ask.
So you can sort that out with Ben
Well,
at
Ben,
the
just get-
meeting.
But if we let him know that that's what we're chasing, then he can do whatever research. I just don't want to pitch up that meeting. It's
No,
hours and
so-
hours, go round in circles while we go.
That was the whole point of doing this, so we can get it out, get it sorted.
Precisely,
Yeah.
precisely.
I'll-
So who's going to send Ben a message regarding all these things that he needs to look into tomorrow?
There's one
Yeah.
other income, if I may, ma'am.
Yeah, carry on.
Still disbursement, which is on the last page under
Yeah.
income.
We've got to
Oh,
the last page now.
I'm surprised it's 2K. I'd like to do the research because actually there's an awful lot of housing developments going on at the moment, and I'd like to know what, as we're anticipating for that year ahead.
We need accurate updates.
I used 1,000 words
Yes,
when
because
you
it
used
says-
3. That's good.
It said that it's 2,000 this year, and I believe it's more than that we've had this year.
Yeah, I thought it was 3,000.
I was going to say, I believe it could be substantially more than that because of
Yeah.
the number of developments that are happening.
So, yeah,
So that's on your CIL.
yes.
Yes, still disbursement, yeah.
Okay, I'll get to just check those for you.
Yes, just to double check that. Okay,
That's a good starting point.
so that'll give you something to talk about anyway.
David, do you want us to email through some stuff to you just to make sure that you've got covered all the points?
Yeah,
before you email it through
Yeah,
to,
that's fine, that's fine.
Have you collected all that?
He said he was going to email it to Ben.
I'll pop round and see him.
So if you share some of your views with David, and I'll share some of my views that I've written down here.
Yeah, I think I've done.
And that way, it's only one communication. It
Yeah.
won't overwhelm Ben,
Yeah.
and it seems fairer.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
Yeah, so everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Okay, we don't need to
I'll get
vote,
that through
we're
by the
just
weekend.
discussing.
Because I'm not at work now. till New Year.
Oh, God, it's right, okay, so number 6 is my paper that I'm presenting. Due to a leak on social media regarding the petty cash, I was advised by Jake and Chris from HR that we call in an accountant to check the books for transparency.
Is this the email person?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
OTCABC Proton email?
Yeah.
Have we got to refer this?
I think no. I think there was also, it was mentioned in the letter.
Oh, right. Have both of those things been referred to the OA officer at the Information Commissioner's Office? Because both of those are breach of data of this council.
I think we're getting off
No.
track here, Adam. I'd simply like to say that when we had the interviews with Ben, there was an accusation made that there was whatever missing. That hasn't been substantiated, so that's what I believe the accounting is for, because that substantiates the fact that it isn't an accounting error, that it hasn't slipped behind the settee, and it is actually missing, and that we have an issue to address, because these are serious allegations. I think they need to be scrutinised.
Yes, and that is, like I say,
But that gives some
That is
strength.
the-
That gives us some strength to supporting you this, bringing in this, whoever this person is.
yes,
Yeah, if that allegation that money is missing, we need to verify that that is indeed the fact.
yes.
our SIL income was £4,119. So it's completely out of sync with this. And that's off our own website.
Point. Topics, down topic. I'll be on that.
What was that figure? Oh, you're going to email that figure over?
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Scribbling down.
Okay, so I would like to propose that we employ an accountant from DCK Accounting Solutions, which was suggested by Jay because they deal with parish council accounts. But they're not an auditor because an auditor only is interested in the governance. They're not interested in the small money side of things. So that is why Jake has suggested that we go with this gentleman. I have spoken to him, and they are available to visit the office on Wednesday the 4th of January if people are happy for the engagement to be made. Obviously there is a fee and it's £520 plus mileage.
Where are they coming from? Not Somerset, is it?
It's not Somerset. Can't remember, but it wasn't Somerset.
It's a hell of a way away.
And that's plus VAT on the
Plus VAT, but we can
plus
claim,
Yeah.
we can claim the VAT back.
Well, I think we need to do it because this is public money, it's not ours. We don't know. We need to be clear.
No,
We
we
don't know
just
if
need
it's
to
missing, wasn't it? Yeah.
dot some I's and cross some T's.
It can also get rid of all this smoke and mirror myth about people putting rubbish on social media because it's ridiculous.
horrendous, wasn't it?
So you proposed it. If nobody else is going to comment on it, I'll second it.
I'd like to, I'd like to say, actually, I'd like to make it clear that what the primary purpose is to determine whether, in fact, there is a hole in the petty cash.
Yes.
And I think that's what the question needs to be answered, and anything incidental to that is fine, but as long as that is clear to our accountant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, might be.
Yes.
It might be.
Like we say, it could just be an accountancy discrepancy that we need to just get a second pair of eyes on the accounts so that they can just double check it. Because having worked with cash myself for donkey's years, you could look at a piece of paper to find amount and you just can't see it, and you just need to say to somebody else, can you just check over this? And they'll go, that's wrong, straight away, because it just jumps out at other people. Because when you keep looking at the same paper over and over again, you just don't see these mistakes that you make. We all make mistakes at the end of the day. Anybody else like to say anything?
Well, I'm just going to say that I found it very sad actually, because I was actually attacked, well not attacked, but verbally from people, you know, just assuming that, well, what have we done with this money that's gone missing? That was so bad that was, I don't know who put it on, but it was disgraceful.
Okay, so I'm proposing that we go ahead with this.
I'm still happy to second with the caveats of the words captured that to investigate any whatever.
Yeah, cash.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
Has this been double checked internally that there's money missing, as Paul, Councillor Ainsley quite rightly points out? Is the money missing or isn't it?
We believe so,
You believe so?
but we can't. I mean, we can't be 100% certain. That's why we need
Well, the only reason
somebody to come in and look at the accounts and just double check.
reason I asked the
it's not-
question is, you know, to spend £600 working out if you've lost 100 seems kind of
I think they're going to look deeper.
okay.
I think the issue is, sorry,
But we don't, no, as Councillor Ainsley quite rightly pointing out, you don't know that it's anything actually wrong until you actually ascertain the money's missing.
Yes.
You know, investigate something that you don't even know has even happened.
you know,
It's kind of, I don't know. I'm just trying to get an order.
That's fine.
can I,
Yeah,
do
please
you
do.
mind if I
Yeah.
I think the issue is simply that a serious allegation of theft has been made, and therefore we as a council have a duty and obligation, regardless of the amount, to actually to formally investigate that position.
It's not our job to investigate, it's the police.
But
It has
we,
been reported to the police.
Well, I suppose the point is, if you
Can I come on? By whom and by what means? Because this has never been to council for a resolution to instruct somebody to do anything.
pies.
I was wondering.
That's what we're
So
doing.
where is the resolution that that decision was made? That's what because I know we have standing orders and we just ignore them all the time. And they're there for a reason. They set boundaries, they set rules, they set parameters.
David, what would your proposal be in the light of your comments?
Well, I want to know who authorised.
Right, there was no
Informing-
authorisation by the councillor that made the report to the police, and they were spoken to that they shouldn't have done it until it had come to full council. But it had already been done, so we couldn't go back on it and say, oh, we can't do that, we need to go back.
Okay, then in your role as chairman, have you reported that as a breach of standing orders to the monitoring officer?
I haven't.
In that case, then I would like to make a proposal from this council. The council authorises you to put a complaint into the monitoring officer for a breach of standing orders on that council.
Okay.
David, do you think this has a material impact on this proposal here? That's a question.
No, but I just, it's the fact that something's been done outside of the council, and standing orders clearly state that no councillor may speak for or on behalf of or make decisions for the council. Not even the chairman can do that.
Yes, I'm not arguing that. I just wondered, I'm sorry, I was just trying to determine whether that had a material impact on this paper.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Just
But
pure.
there is another issue to be addressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I pitch in and ask perhaps for a little bit of guidance on something? I feel that I have some information that might be prudent to be discussed at this point. However, it came about in a meeting that was regarding an HR capacity, so I'm not entirely sure whether or not at this point anyone would
Is it
like
finance or staffing? Because it's a staffing
Bit of
meeting.
both,
There's a
I'm
staffing
guessing.
meeting after here. isn't there?
Thing,
in which case I'll save it.
well, I don't think the agendas were ever sent out for the staffing committee.
Oh, will they? Oh, I'll come for a staffing.
All right, well, that's fine then. If you've all had agendas, it's just me that hasn't.
Chris, I think we have to be careful about confidentiality.
Yes.
Exactly, which is why I was going to say, if anyone
Yeah.
wants to hear it now, then I was going to suggest that we...
Well, I think let's resolve. Madam Chair, I think we should resolve this, and then supplementary matters, which is David's brought up, and you're bringing up, should then be resolved.
We've got a proposal on which we haven't voted on yet about getting the audit person in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the council, thank you. And then we've got David's proposal that we haven't had seconded yet. So can we do
Right,
one
let's
first and do the other?
do the accountant first. So
That's been
I've
proposed and
proposed it and you seconded it. All those in favour of taking it on an accountant?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against, 1,
Should I abstain on
2
that?
abstention.
No,
Thank you very much.
David's proposal.
And David's proposal is, do you want to just really say the
The council authorises the chairman to put in a formal complaint for breach of standing order against the council that informed the police without authority.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Can I just have a note of caution? Are we certain that we know who made the notification to the police?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Seconded by Adam. All those in favour of David's proposal? Yeah. Okay.
That's transparency.
Yeah. Thank you. Right, actually.
Is there a staffing meeting after?
Well, I understood that was at 7:30.
Well, yes, that's what I originally put out, and then I didn't think anybody had had any.
Has it been in
I have no papers at all.
No.
Perhaps we can arrange a date now?
Okay,
Yeah.
so should we just finalise this meeting and then we can roll from there, if that's okay with everybody? So it is 7:15.